Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and welcome to the stream. And today we are talking about business of cinema. And I have two guests on the panel. Yeah, we have a panel today, and both of them are experienced in the field. They have been producers themselves, and they know a lot about the industry and how things work, how the business works. So before we get into that, let me know how's the audio, how's the video? Can you hear me? Are the mods here in the chat? Let me know that, and we'll begin with it. No more delays. And if you have any question regarding the business of cinema, Bollywood, Hollywood, you want to ask anything, let me know in the chat and we'll ask them. Hi Ankit Kumar, thank you for telling me that. Thank you guys. So let me introduce to the panel. We have Yash Aditya and Tanish Bansal. Guys, say hi. You're on the screen now.
Hey guys.
Now guys, let me know if you can hear them.
Hello.
Yes, Harneet Singh Sachdev is here. Yes, we can hear. Oh,
Okay.
the first question is when will Tenet release?
Oh shit, Tanish has
Yeah,
disconnected.
he'll join. He'll join.
Okay. When will the
So
Tenet release?
yeah, release. No, first of all, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Yash Aditya and I'm a filmmaker, right? And I just finished my graduation from Whistling Woods with this specialization in producing. And like I'm like not that experienced, जैसे ये कह रहा है. I am experienced but not that much. I just have produced two of my like diploma films, worked in a feature film in the post production, and like I was the executive producer in two independent shorts. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. So by the time we have a second guest back, yeah, your thoughts on Tenet first of all. What happened with it, how they are dealing with it, and everything. And when do you think
I
it will
mean,
come to India?
like right now, I don't see any point in like bringing Tenet and like opening theaters in India for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, because of the situation, it's just completely like it's a chaos right now over here, and like it's chaos all around the world. And like we saw, like there are articles you can just Google Tenet and just see like what happened to Tenet. I mean, like everybody was just hoping to it, but it didn't perform that well. But ये पैंडेमिक के हिसाब से द $200 million का जो बिजनेस करा है टेनेट ने is commendable, but still like it wasn't up to the mark just because of this, and people are like just scared and all. And the big studios, they are just like pushing the like dates आगे करते जा रहे हैं. Like Wonder Woman
Yeah.
का Christmas कर दिया, and Batman का आज just आया है कि it's releasing in 2022,
Yeah.
not in 2021. So
Yeah.
like you can see the effects, और अब तो मतलब बहुत funnelize हो जाएगा. I think just the event film जो है वो रिलीज होंगी on the like that's my personal opinion. The वो रिलीज होंगी in theaters, and the window of like of film to do business वो थोड़ा shift होगा. And overall देखा जाए तो we are in a काफी interesting time. Like probably in 5-10 years, a new sort of a new wave and all of cinema will come, and it'll something different to offer to the viewers and us to like, and to us as well, like the filmmakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tanish is back. Tanish, introduce
Mm.
yourself to everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanesh, and sorry there was some connectivity issue with my laptop, so I'm doing this on my phone. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
And uh, just throw me the question. What were you discussing?
No, you want to know about yourself first. The chat wants to know.
Okay, okay. Me and Yash were colleagues in the film school.
Even he's from animation. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all three of us went to the same college. Me and Yash were in filmmaking, and Nona Prince was in animation. And after we graduated, I started working in a couple of ad production houses like Boathouse Media and Snowball Studios in Bandra.
Yeah.
And then I worked in Dharma Productions, and I worked on a
Nice.
couple of projects. I worked on the recent Janvi Kapoor film called Gunjan Saxena.
Yeah.
And then I went to work on Dostana 2, which is yet to release, which they just announced, which has a lead cast of Kartik Aaryan, Janvi Kapoor, and Akshay Lalwani. So I joined as an intern in Gunjan Saxena, but then production assistant and then production coordinator in Dostana 2.
Okay.
After that, I got a job as an assistant director in this company called American Index, and I was working on a project as an AD in this film called Amriki Pandit with R. Madhavan in lead role in it.
Okay. Nice.
This was all before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think the first question what Yash was answering was about Tenet, how it's happening, and what's how when it will come to India.
Okay. So, okay, let's talk about Tenet then. I think major studios and productions have, of course, hit majorly by the pandemic. But
Yeah.
a film of this magnitude and this quality attracts people to it. Like, depends on Nolan's following and the quality of cinema which is being offered. So, theaters will reopen. I think they are reopening from 15th October.
Yeah.
And, they will get their money back, I'm guessing, based on based on the response the film is
I also
getting.
think that
I think it's already made like $300 million worldwide.
Yeah.
it has, but like a film like Tenet, which costs probably 200 million or 300 million dollars, and it makes about 300 million dollars, it's not really up to the mark. And
Yeah.
I guess like and like you can see like how studios like have been hit by this. And I mean Wonder Woman के stature का film भी यार release होने वाला था. They were expecting कि Tenet अच्छा करेगी, then Wonder Woman, then this, then that. Everything's getting pushed because there's too much money involved in that. And a film like Tenet with that, like as you said, of that, like mega thing, like that event thing, it can happen, like it can surely happen, but not right now, I guess, you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Hmm. I think also like the film world of post-COVID will see a different era as Yash just mentioned because the rise of path-breaking films, the 150 $200 million films or 100 150 200 CR films here,
Yeah.
budgeted films, they will see a you'll see a fall in their production because of a the lesser crew size, b the less moviegoers for some time. See, it'll the pandemic was sort of an eye opener for big production houses who were you know putting a lot of money in their commerce but not in their art,
Yeah.
not in the film quality, not in the film sense and the form, the screenwriting. So we expect to be better movies. Doesn't matter how budgeted they are, if they're heavily budgeted or less budgeted.
Yeah.
There's no rule key like you get a good film if you put a lot of money in it. There's plenty of low budgeted or even crowd funded films which are way amazing than the big studio films.
Yeah. So I think before getting into all of this, I think there's a very big misconception that a producer is the guy who gives money. That's it. So that's not the case at all. So I
That's
want
not.
I,
you to
that's
answer
a,
that, to clarify that for the public.
Manish can answer that better than I could say.
I think the producer is the guy who produces everything for starters. The crew, the human resource, the financial resource, the 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 set, the location, the actors,
Yeah.
everything. He's the guy who produces, and he's the one who doesn't take no for an answer. Whether it's money, budget is the one aspect of it, and it's not necessarily its only job of a producer is to just provide money for it. He or she ensures this proper expenditure. There's a proper cost of production. The the resources, the props, the makeup, the crew, everyone's getting paid on time, everyone's getting the resources they want, and they don't compromise with the quality of the film. He's the one
Yeah.
who takes ensure of that. It's often considered that the director is the captain of the ship, which he is undoubtedly, but we live in a world which is a producer driven industry. It's a
Yeah.
producer driven medium. When a producer initiates a project, that's when he assembles the entire crew for it. And even if it's like big celebrity actors, it all works on their relations with the producers, and on what terms they are with each other. uh, Also, a producer also has to see the political situation, the background, the psychographics of the audience, and the audience he's catering to,
Yeah.
and the kind of film, the kind of project which he's initiating, and the people he's associating with it. And if audience will really get a knack of it, or it'll be like a pebble for them in their shoe.
Yeah.
So producer has a ton of job, and narrowing down to just providing money will be a little harsh on him. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you were just a guy who's trying to, make a good film, and like how, like it's not easy to get investors and get money for a film, like probably say a film like Newton, and but it's easy for like to get in money with because like it has like huge star cast and all of that. Like so for a film like Main Tera Hero, so as
Yeah.
a producer you need to like really balance. Even if you're making a Main Tera Hero, you need to balance like the dono, like both the aspects of the filmmaking. Like the whole budget के ऊपर film नहीं बन रही है, like film के लिए budget बन रहा है. You need to understand
Hmm.
that, like as a producer.
Okay.
Hmm.
सिर्फ ऐसे सस्ते में कर दो, ये कर दो, वो कर दो. It doesn't make sense. Like the quality is the thing. Like you
Like,
want.
for example, let's say if you're booking a location and it's a very expensive location, and you just have to take one shot in it, and let's say if it's not even a full day shoot, you just have to take couple of shots in it. There's no point booking the entire location for the entire day.
Yeah.
That'll be wasting a lot of money. And see if you can make some changes in the script for that, or if it's really really necessary, see if you can trick it, or do a guerrilla shoot for it or something.
Yeah.
That's how you save money on the cost of production. uh, but on the other hand, if your director is really passionate and driven for what he wants, and he has every right reason to convince the producer, the actor to do it, then it won't be a waste to book the entire location if he really, really wants that thing. So it also matters on the team you're working with, what your director or what your crew really
Yeah.
driven to do. Yeah.
Like as a producer, like when a script comes to you, or suppose like you have written a script, could say, yeah, you have a team of like there's a guy who writes script, and there's a director, there's a cinematographer, everything. From the story stage, you gotta be like completely on your toes and just uh, making things happen in the right direction. I guess
Yeah.
like for me, like that is. I mean, you can't just say ki budget hai and all of that. There's always a way around. You can't just shrug off by saying ki I'm sorry, we had to compromise or something like that. I mean, like people do,
Mm,
we also do, but मतलब हमारे तो और भी like छोटा scale है. We
mm,
usually feel like we have reached to a stage like where we can produce independent short films.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like उसमें भी ये सब challenges आते हैं, but there's always a way around. And as a producer, you need to be smart enough and just like seeing it all as a Rubik's cube. Just like try to get the color right. Just try to get the color
Mm,
right. Yeah, like work the budget out, work the screenplay out, just work with the director, just just make it happen the
mm.
way like it deserves to be. Like
Yeah.
like बस होना चाहिए.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, like to get the job done. I think that's that's
Like
something a
that's
producer
very
who wakes up in the morning and tells himself is to
that's
get the
very like,
job done.
that's very like the producer's notion. What the Sikandar said. और नोना प्रिंस, ही सेड कि मतलब सिर्फ पैसे इकट्ठा करना, नो लाइक वो
uh,
मतलब वो नोशन है। आई मीन उसमें भी दो अलग अलग टीम्स है यार, लाइक देयर इज अ क्रिएटिव टीम एंड देयर इज अ प्रोडक्शन टीम टेक्स केयर ऑफ द बजट।
yeah.
लाइक दे आर द वंस कि कहाँ पे कितना पैसा जा रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, हाउ लाइक हु आई नीड टू टॉक टू इफ आई नीड अ हॉर्स और समथिंग,
Yeah.
like getting the location done, getting like people on board,
When
that's there.
when the times of crisis, when there's last minute cancellations from your actors, or you run
Yeah.
out of time or you run out of money, and all these problems which arise. So a producer also has to be a big problem solver on set. Speaking out of my own experience, when I was doing my diploma film, and we get a certain amount of budget from the college to do it,
Yeah.
and there'll be some over expenditures. So let's say my costume director, my she overly spent the costume budget, and then I had no choice because she's already spent it on the costumes, and my director really wants those costumes. So we can't compromise with the quality of your actor's costume. So you make do some changes, like there were some extra camera gear which was coming in for 2 extra days. So we sat down with the DOP team and discussed if we can cut it out and save some money on that.
Yeah.
That's how a problem arise and you solve it. It's like you don't
I
have a
mean,
choice there.
these are like very small things which probably don't even matter when you're talking about like scale of suppose like a Dune or this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, like like things like these, they matter if you want to make like the film happen. Like
Yeah.
on time, on schedule, everything like in the budget.
Yeah.
You need to do that. Like you can't just say कि ठीक है 5,000 ही extra है, but you like people do it,
Mm,
but like it's good that you are prepared. पहले your prep needs to be like really good. Your pre-production has to be like on point to achieve that level.
Yeah.
hmm.
So
And
there's a question that, as
yeah.
Tanish said,
Hmm.
you do that compromises, you remove the extra gear you wanted for a scene, but you're not using and putting it on costume design. So someone asked,
Mhm.
does that compromises change the quality of the final product?
No, it doesn't
No.
really.
Like as I mentioned, we discuss with the DOP team, and if there's extra camera gear coming in which they won't use it, so better not take it or not rent it or
Yeah.
not buy it. So this first thing first, you need to have a good communication with your team. You need to put your ego aside and discuss things out, sort things out, because in the end, it's not just your film; it's everyone's film, and
Yeah.
that's filmmaking. Everyone's putting their time and energy
Yeah,
into
I
it.
mean, like as a producer or as a production guy or like as an executive producer, I won't just go to the DOP and be like कि तुझे gimbal मैं नहीं दे सकता because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I can't really just go and say that, right? You need to like be ready with a thing and just like catch hold of the guy, ask them, catch hold of the main guy, ask them things, how we can work it out, if we can work it out or not. But if we can, then how? उस पे क्वालिटी पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा? डू यू नीड एक्स्ट्रा टाइम और समथिंग? यू नीड दैट। ऐसे अचानक से यू कैन जस्ट लाइक से कि ओके मेरा मन नहीं है गिम्बल देने का, मैं नहीं दे रहा, वैसे नहीं होता।
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
need to be like the quality, it shouldn't be compromised. Even if it is compromised, वो बहुत ध्यान से करना पड़ता है because overall quality है, मतलब if you're watching a 30-minute short suppose or a 20-minute short, you can't just be like कि यार सब अच्छा था but वो एक जो single take है ना, वो मतलब थोड़ा off लग रहा था, वो jarring था। So
Yeah.
that jarring, to get that jarring, like removed from the film in budget on time is a task for a producer when there's a special requirement for any like a thing like a crane or a gimbal or
Hmm.
anything.
Okay. So, Pawan, I'll come to your question later when we talk about the pandemic and the impact of it. We have a question, and I wanted to get into it also. How are Indian producers different from producers of BuzzFeed or a YouTube channel like AIB or something like that? Are there any differences?
Hmm. Ton of differences. Indian producer, as in like
Like a
a
movie
film
producer, like a
producer.
film producer versus
Uh,
a producer for a YouTube video or YouTube channel, something like that.
well, since a YouTube channel obviously has a lesser budget, lesser crew,
Yeah,
lesser. It's a scaled down project, so there will be less stress on the producer first thing.
yeah,
For a big movie producer and for the executive producer, since they'll be spending a lot of money in in a limited period, so every minute matters to them.
yeah,
Even if their crew, the costume or the lighting team comes like 10, 15 minutes late, it'll cost them money. But on a music video or like a comedic sketch or an AIB video, there's since there's a small community, so they adjust to each other. But on a film producer or on a film set, shit gets real. It gets really annoying at times because you have to, if your call time's at 6 and it takes around an hour to reach the set from your home, so that means if you're in the production team, you have to reach the set an hour early before everyone. That means you wake up at around 3:30 and you leave the house by 4, reach there by 5 so that everyone can be there at 6.
yeah.
That's the case of a big film, of an Indian producer's film. On an AIB sketch, it's a little laid back. I'm not saying it's completely, like a student project or an indie project.
Yeah.
They are highly professional in their terms, but it's not that stress on the entire crew.
What
Uh,
in aspect of the work of a producer, how does it vary or it's the same? It's like at the end of the day, it's like management, right? Management of people,
yeah, it
management of
is.
funds, and all.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like there are funds, there are like people you're managing. You're getting some known face for your YouTube skit
Mm,
that you're doing, obviously. And as a producer, the main thing that I see, YouTube producers, the BuzzFeed producers, and a film producer, maybe it can be in India or kahin bhi like in Hollywood or probably in Korea. The thing changes is the approach. Like mostly in India, like for the YouTube content, uh, a producer's approach to that particular piece
Yeah.
than to a feature film. I mean, like the scale, obviously, the scale matters. I mean, you can watch AIB videos and ये TVF के जितने भी videos है, उनका भी scale छोटा नहीं है. But you know, it is somewhere on the lines of a good 30 to 40 minute short. Say feature के बीच का वो जो gap है, they fill that gap somehow. And obviously, you can like it is like the OTT and all of that. So yeah, you get a lot of freedom. You can experiment with your ideas. Like over there, like the world is your stage right now. Abhi, like if I am the indie film producer, I'll release my film in India. फिर बाहर release करने के लिए मुझे मतलब अलग distribute, get in touch with the distributor and all of that. The sales agent will happen. Film markets probably,
Yeah.
So like it's a long process like that. But
Okay.
not that long. Things like happen if the film is really good. And but in terms of YouTube and film, the approach really changes. And if you're putting your stuff on YouTube, anyone can just like access it. And like they should like your thing. So
Yeah.
how do you make stuff like likable on YouTube? Like just go and study how did they grow. I mean, like from their first video to probably their 450th video, just like see what all they did. I mean, recently I guess BBK Wines का हुआ था ऐसा that he was shooting on some other phone और उसका video quality अच्छा था. People didn't like it. People
Oh.
just like the style. But
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that thing happened. So that's also a case. Like BBK Wine, I don't know, but I'm just assuming whatever I read that he's a one man game. Like he writes his stuff, he shoots himself, he edits himself, and all of that. So वो उसने भी वो चीज देखा होगा. Like something must have occurred ना that he like just upgraded, but people didn't want. Like people like BBK Wines क्योंकि वो उसका particular style है, like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a different section of audience which BB caters to. There's
Yeah.
a exactly, but on a film, there's a larger audience, there's larger crew, so you're telling a bigger story,
Yeah.
and it is like on a or even on an AIB sketch or even for BB when he's making his wines. Of course, there will be stress on him, and he'll have different jobs, but that's filmmaking.
Yeah.
That you don't. There are no bad ideas. There are no small projects. There are no small roles.
Yeah.
It's just like about the approach. I mean, the whole, like you're talking about the producer's approach. I mean, look at the director's approach. Like वो कैसे change होता होगा? Look at the
Hmm.
like everyone's approach in that. Like if it's a YouTube skit, like so suppose the actor's approach, the director's approach, the writer's approach will also change.
Yeah.
Yeah, how passionate they are for their product, for their content.
Yeah.
If they really wanna, if they like for an AIB sketch or for a TVF sketch or these viral videos, comic videos,
Yeah.
they're trying to have fun when they're making it, and not just they also, what I've seen in an AIB video is they try to bring in big actors and they try to get their message across through releasing humor, and that's AIB.
Yeah.
BB does the similar thing, except he does everything himself. On a film, if it's a fiction or even if it's not, if it's non-fiction, there's some sort of vision which the director has, and he has to communicate it to the producer so that they both can work their asses off and get the vision across.
Yeah. So, guys,
So
whoever is watching, if you're finding value, do hit the like button. And Sangeeta Mulgago asked a question. I'll take that when we talk about the pandemic later. So stick around. So my next question is, let's break it down. I have a script. You are the producers.
hmm,
I come to you. So how that process goes from there to finally releasing it, like whatever theater or
And who
OTT.
are you the script writer or do you want to like direct it as well? It will also depend on that.
Okay. So let's say I just have the script. I come to you. Let's make the film.
hmm.
So how it goes from there?
So you want to direct it or not? Just say that.
No, let's take both the scenarios, right? If I want to direct or if I want
Okay.
anyone else to direct, maybe you can
Okay.
bring
Okay.
Okay.
someone on the board.
Yeah. So first thing, like if you go to a producer with a script, firstly, he'll ask the question which Yash just did. And if your answer is yes, if you're directing it, then it's your job. You'll try to get the storyboard artist, you'll try to get, like, the producer will make some phone calls and get people to meet you.
Yeah.
And if you, since you're the director, as I said, you'll be the captain of the ship. Producer's the guy who's your first man. You're the captain, he's the first man.
Okay.
And if you're not directing, first thing is he'll try to get a director. He'll introduce you with a bunch of people, and if you connect with any one of them who you think is good enough to direct your script,
Yeah.
then you and the director will work it out, and the producer will be your the guy who will be backing you up.
Yeah.
Uh, Secondly, the technical, the crew, the way I see it, I try to divide a film production into three aspects: the technical part, the creative part, and the business part. So you and the DOP team and the director will cover the creative and technical part. The
Okay.
producer will handle the business part, and also discuss the creative part of it with you and the director, so that if there can be some changes possible. The DOP team, the editing team, sound team, VFX team, they'll discuss it with you, the creative and the technical part.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, that's all. Like, if you go to a producer with a script, secondly, he'll ask if he's an investor and not just a producer, how he's getting his money back. What's your distribution plan for it later? And if
Okay.
you're sending it to festivals, film festivals, and because the time money comes in, like investor comes in or brands comes in, they you know they want to get leverage on you, on your project. So
Yeah.
if it's your creative baby and you're handling it to someone, asking them money for it, they will try to control it somehow. So the compromises sometimes which you don't want to make, you have to, because they're the one who are paying you to make your creative project.
Yeah.
And I think that's how, it depends which type of project you're going to a producer with.
Okay. So, okay, now coming to the distribution models,
Hmm.
or how it works in the industry,
Hmm.
how it's released on in theaters, how that or everything works. Like how I made a film, now you
Hmm.
have to put it in the theaters. Like what's the
So like if you have a producer, like as he said, like you come to me, I like your script, like you approach someone from the creative team, they like the script. It goes through a lot of screening first, okay? It goes through a lot of screening, and then like people they read your script and all of that. You filter stuff, and then when like it gets to the producer, he likes the script or she likes the script. They'll be like, okay, fine. So like you want to direct it. If you want to direct it, I'd like to see some of whatever you have done. If
Yeah.
you can't really like just give it you to direct it, right?
yeah
Like you may be like Christopher Nolan, but I can't because I can't trust you, and I haven't seen anything, and I can't give of anything of like that scale. So I'll get the team on board, everything, and like the thing is, like as a producer, Tanish said it that the business and the creative, you gotta just have an eye on both of them.
yeah
Like even a poster of your film is like it's selling your film, but how
Hmm.
does the look and how does it impact the audience and who's in the poster? What's happening in the poster?
Hmm.
Maybe like anything,
Like,
for
like,
instance, sound.
okay, so for an example, in college we had the discussion of Urta Punjab, the film,
yeah
and you know
Just
how.
like we are just going here and there a bit, but we'll come to the point of the distribution thing. This thing
Hmm.
just came into my mind, and I thought that I should like
Nahi,
speak
I'll
about
tell you, for distribution, like, since after the film got produced, after the film got made, they went to the distributors.
yeah
And, distribution team has a marketing team with it who tries to, who makes the posters, the trailers, and everyone. And they try to sell the film as an anti-drug film that
okay
you can go with, watch it with your parents, and it gives the idea of not, not taking drugs.
yeah
But 10 minutes into the movie, you see Shahid doing all the stuff which he did in the movie. And
yeah
it becomes a bizarre show, and the people and the kids who went to watch it with their parents just feel awkward.
yeah
So that's the differences which the producer and the distributor has to, sit and discuss beforehandedly. If you're marketing as an anti-drug film, it can't glorify drugs in the film the way Urta Punjab
it.
did.
It
okay
wasn't glorifying, like it wasn't like it showed the after effects pretty. Yeah, I mean,
Of course, I mean, yeah, it did,
वो अलग ही
but
trip पे चला जाता, like it wasn't glorifying it, but yeah, but the film like went. I mean, like we studied this particular thing in the college as well. Ki how like the hype was there and
yeah,
everything. People were expecting something else in the theater. What they got was something really gritty and probably like dark, and some of them just couldn't handle it. But
yeah,
I have also like I know people like my father, for example, like we went to watch Urta Punjab together. We came back. He didn't like the film. I liked it. But after 2 years, he was like, no, matlab, like that film's kind of like growing on me. I like the vibe right now. So like some of the things like it happens like that. But for some people, it just didn't work
yeah
because they expected something else, and what they got was completely a dark tale. Like a
yeah.
very gritty
It
stuff
was
that they.
it was expected to, give a message, but it was deep, dark, twisted, and
yeah
somewhat emotional in the end.
okay
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So
coming
getting
back to
to, yeah. So just like getting back to the distribution thing, like after the film is made and everything, but like जब फिल्म रेडी हो जाती है उसके पहले जब फिल्म का शूट स्टार्ट होने लग जाता है उसके पहले से यूजुअली लाइक इन लाइक बिगर प्रोडक्शन producers get in touch with the uh, distributors, and and after the final film is done, is like they're like so basically they are the people who will sell the film to the executive producers, and they handle the circuits and like the small pockets in a country or in the world. कहाँ पे
Hmm.
film देखता
Yeah.
है, like the Indore sector or probably the Delhi sector, the Bombay sector, like that. So ये noise क्या आ रही है एक second, a bit distracting. Someone's playing a song or what?
I'll get copyright. Don't. Finish. Can you
हाँ भाई,
mute when you're not speaking? I think there's some.
yeah, just like mute.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, yeah, better, better.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So yeah, so मतलब वो like the pocket look into it, and they need to see the film. So sometimes what happens ki a film is made, like the final cut and everything is done, but distributors they ask for some changes. They ask to put in something sometimes, like to remove something sometimes, or
Hmm.
like they just go with it sometimes. Like the
Yeah.
way it is. And
Hmm.
after that, it goes to the exhibitors. Sorry, exhibitors. So फिल्म वहाँ पे ऐसे मतलब थिएटर जाती है. जब फिल्म थिएटर जाती है, like certain percentage, like on paper you have to like there's a certain percentage की for a week इस तरीके से वो फिल्म हमारी among the exhibitor, producer, the distributor, and everyone. कई बार distributors producer को film like ऐसे outright पे सीधा खरीद लेते हैं.
Yeah.
So like suppose film with me, like with your producer and everyone, if I like it, then I'll just like offer you suppose about like 50 lakhs and be like, that's all I can offer. And in that case, sometimes it happens कि अच्छा चल जाती है. And then the film is making a lot of money, but as a producer you can't because तुमने outright में film बेच दिया अपनी.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like this happened with Gadar, with Sairat also.
Serrat, yeah. Very interesting case of Serrat. You know,
Yeah, like we
uh,
studied this in film school, so like as well this happened with Sairat as well. They like distributors got it for like on like outright wala thing, and
hmm,
yeah, it just like and the film turned out pretty well. It was doing like कितने पैसे कमा रहे थे.
So
120,
like,
130 CR तक I think the
so the
film made.
producers didn't make the
Went
money. Only the distributors made.
So producers make the money. There are other ways to make the money as well.
Okay.
But
But
they have
like
to share it with the distributor. Like on a
Okay.
60,
so
40%, I think they have a deal.
like example say that you are a producer, like an independent producer like us, and you somehow or the other in a year you made a like feature.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll come to a distributor, probably you'll go to a film market and meet a sales agent or a distributor over there. Then the chances are that they will buy your film and they outright them because you don't like you're not like suppose like a big name or something like that. And it's an independent production. Like that's how like we have seen and studied some cases, like that's how it functions. Some
Okay.
like in cases of the completely independent film.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like right now you can't sell a film like Newton after Newton has happened ऐसे like बस normal इससे न्यूटन भी वैसे outright वगैरह नहीं हुआ था, but न्यूटन पे you can't just like sell इस तरीके से right now after Newton happened that
Yeah.
of that stature, because it makes an impact like in the society, like youngsters they see it and want to like more of that.
Okay.
It's probably like
Uh,
in their language.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
once again, huh? So guys, yeah, we were talking about that. We have questions in the chat. Andoga
Hmm.
says, are films shown to test audiences, and after that, are movies rewritten or reshot based on the feedback? It happens in Hollywood. Does it happen in India too?
Mm, I think they do. Most producers do like to do a live screening before the release, and they get like film critiques, film reviewers, their friends and family, some audience,
Yeah.
and everyone in the crew to they watch the film once, and they take criticism, they take feedback from everyone, what all changes they can make. In India, honestly, most producers don't have money left by that time to
Okay.
make more edits and more changes. So if sometimes there's a very strong possibility ki, you know, let's say there's some edit which the producer isn't satisfied with, but
Yeah.
the editor is gonna charge him more money to, because he has to sit for few more nights to edit it.
Yeah.
And let's say the producer can't afford it, and
Okay.
maybe like he doesn't want to do it anymore, so he just has to go with it. But unless he really, really wants to make that change, then he will, ask the editor and make the change and, pay him for his extra time.
Okay.
India mein to, I think mostly they do a good pre-production. That's why they try not to waste a lot of time in the production. And once they have a good strategy in the beginning, so ending tak aate aate, by the time they're done with post-production, they pretty much have the product they started with, the content
Okay.
they initiated to make. Yeah.
Okay. One more question for you guys. How to start off as a producer in film school? Is film school important after schooling?
Yash, what do you think?
See, it's completely subjective when it comes to film school. I mean, like, yeah, I needed that
Yeah.
because I didn't have that exposure. I didn't like know the lingo. I mean, like, I saw your video on OTT versus theater,
Yeah.
and you said कि इंडिया में यूजुअली ऐसा होता है कि लोग ओकेजन पे जाते हैं थिएटर में.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Before coming to film school, I was one of like in like those. When I got here, I was the but after 6-7 months, I was like, it offers कि पूरा एक ऐसे you are a part of you're a part of the process.
Your voice is
Lengthy
breaking.
from the. Is it good now? Hello.
Better, better, better.
Yeah. So basically, like, so when I came to film school, I was like, I want to do production, but after 6-7 months, I was like, nay, I want to do producing because what I saw in producing was you get to be a part of like both the like you get to sail two boats basically. Which
Okay.
is like you get to be a part of the creativity, a part of like you are like getting in money, you're pitching the project to everyone in the team and everything. So all that like the most important thing as a producer is, and you can't be lazy about it at all, is you from the very beginning to the very end. I mean, DOP की team shoot करके चली जाएगी, the director, the editor will
Hmm.
do the work.
Yeah.
पैसा अगर लगाया है तो कैसे कमाएगी वापस, sell the film, you
Hmm.
want to be seen, so all of that, so like, and how to be, what was the question?
Okay, I also forgot.
Film
It
school.
was like if you want to start as an indie producer, do you have to go to film school?
See,
Yeah, that is the question.
yeah, so like ये completely subjective है. Like for me, I needed a film school. Like I wanted to explore and be in that particular environment and breathe in that environment for a really long time, which was like 3 years. It was like for me, it just felt like I just spent like 1 year, but it was a long time. Like now, when I look back, 3 years, 2016, 17,
Yeah.
18, it was like, yeah, it was hectic. But see, it again, it's very subjective. You want to go into you can learn, like, there is pretty much stuff online that you can learn from. ऐसे
Hmm.
तुम देख के सीख सकते हो. But to be in that environment, I think that film school is important for like you to go.
Hmm.
Like तुम फिर ऐसे नहीं like I mean you can do like you can be an IITian and just after that you boom you're after IIT what are you doing? I'm a producer, okay? So I
Yeah,
produce stuff and all of that. But your approach will be completely different from a guy who has been to a film school and has like been in that particular environment.
yeah,
I think like
To get
the
environment
I
and in that environment, it's quite necessary, I guess.
okay,
hmm. So first thing first, it's not imperative. It's not a rule that you have to go to film school to become a filmmaker. But if you do, it'll work in your favor always. Because there's a very strong film community. Film school is not just, learning how to use camera and the market of film and, the visual story. Film school is not just that. Film school offers you a whole community of enthusiastic filmmakers, the
yeah,
people you can learn and share and, discuss ideas with, collaborate with, learn from. And I think once like that's all. Like there was this recent debate of like I mentioned for the pandemic, since schools got shut for 6 months
yeah,
by giving all the classes online. But school wasn't all just about giving classes. You can read them from the books. The
yeah,
whole experience of when you go to your games period and when you go to computer lab and when you have a recess in which you sit and communicate and discuss with each other.
yeah,
So school is that entire community. That way you can learn filmmaking from watching movies and reading and learning about them. But you need a very strong community in which you grow and grow as an individual, grow as an artist, grow as a producer, grow as a director, whoever you want to be.
yeah,
Uh, some of the great legends, Quentin Tarantino, David Fincher, these guys never went to film school, but luckily they had a very strong independent film community,
yeah,
uh, film festivals where they used to send their independent films, and before they ended up in Hollywood. So they got a little sense of people, so that they can work on their sensibilities and collaborate with them eventually.
yeah,
So if you don't have that privilege, which we don't in India, sadly, so film school is a good option if you actually wanna venture out as a filmmaker.
yeah. So I think this is the
Yeah.
live example of this. Like I could get these two guys here because I know them from film school. If I didn't go to film
Yeah.
school, I couldn't have the the contacts I have today because I went to film school.
Yeah.
And I would suggest like
And so,
if you can afford it, go for it.
uh,
But if you cannot afford it and you have to take a loan and everything, I would not suggest because it's not a place where you come and directly you're a director after 2 days
mm,
and you're earning money. No, it's a
yeah,
big
it's
process.
not like
So
a sure, uh, it's
It's
not
not,
a
I mean, you
short
need
career
to
path for
understand that
you,
it's
but
not
it's highly adventurous.
yeah. So don't come for
it's
money.
not a
Like
cheap work and little काम वो हो जाएगा.
yeah,
पहले यार तुम खुद तो जाओ अच्छे से. Like that's the point of like making film.
Mm,
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
uh,
So we have one more question. What is the profit change in multiplex versus local theater? Now there are movies named multiplex hit like Piku and B class and C class. One more thing.
Hmm.
Is multiplex system helpful for new producers or is it more difficult for them to distribute their product? Two questions. Let's take the first one, the multiplex versus I think he means single theater.
single screen theater, yeah.
Yeah,
Brings in that like a sort of exposure, you know, to a small town from Jamshedpur. And when a multiplex came, like, people were just like shit, like you can say once, and like there's this, there's that. फिर उसमें अचानक से there's some like it gives certain sort of exposure, obviously, to the audience, but single screen जो loyalty of the audience is more than the multiplex.
Yeah.
And obviously, like this COVID-19 situation, I think there's gonna be a certain divide after some time. Like if the situation to what it was, right? If it doesn't really go back to what it was, there will be a certain sort of divide. And like releasing the film and just like, I mean, obviously, अगर अभी पैंडेमिक नहीं होता, ऐसा लॉकडाउन नहीं होता, probably films जो अभी आई हैं OTT पे वो हमें थिएटर में देखने को मिलती. Like you know what those films are, like the Indian films.
Yeah.
So वो थिएटर में देखने को मिलती. But ask me, like that movie, like you can watch it on a TV easily. It's not something that eventful to like go in a theater and just like watch it. Obviously it can be a part of it, but I think in theaters eventful films, like they should be a part. Like in US it happens, like there's a TV film also.
Yeah.
If you have heard of the film called Elephant by Gus Van Sant, it was for HBO. You know, so I think in some time, not like right now, probably in like 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, we'll start experimenting in like the TV film. There's a TV film. There's a like OTT mein, like films are coming, and OTT mein right now, like getting big stars on board, और उनकी like Lakshmi Bomb आ रही है, भूज आ रही है, इस type की films आ रही हैं. So they will also attract public, like the audience. वो attract करेंगे उनको. वहाँ पे like अजय देवगन की फिल्म है, अक्षय कुमार की फिल्म है, like everybody knows them. Yeah. वो फिल्म आती थिएटर में लोग देखने जाते हैं. But for certain like film, I think OTT will be the go-to thing after this thing, and after the COVID-19 situation, or like in the situation, like we are still in it. But yeah, I think that.
Okay. I think Rupesh, your next question is answered. It's pretty simple. Which will be profitable, English subtitle films or if you dub them?
Yeah, I mean, like the reach will be massive. We have examples like the Jungle Book. Just look at Jungle Book. Yeah, Jungle Book है, Lion King है.
Yeah.
और भी
even the Marvel films, right? Even the Marvel films.
Even the Marvel films. I mean, तुम्हारी reach बहुत बढ़ जाएगी.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know when I left Jamshedpur and came to Bombay, there wasn't like that much craze like over there for a Marvel movie. But when I went back in 2018 and saw people, like they were just like tripping on Infinity War and all, and like they were like they saw it in Hindi, and I was like, nice. Like I won't see it in Hindi. ऐसा नहीं है मैंने नहीं देखा है, but like when you see it in English and in Hindi, difference पता चलता है. And for like the filmmaking and everything, expected to watch the film in the language like it's shot in, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe with the subtitles or without the subtitles, but language change करके तो obviously तुम्हारा वो अर्थ हो जाएगा.
Yeah, I think I actually showed the whole MCU series to my father in Hindi on Hotstar, and the first month of the lockdown. And I'll be honest, like it's a different experience altogether, and it's a fun one. Because the way they have translated it, the real one, right? Even for me, who has seen the movies multiple times, it's a new experience altogether watching it in Hindi.
Yeah. Except you don't get all critique about it, and you enjoy it because that's what films are, so that you can get entertained. And it's you watch it with your family, you watch it with your parents, you enjoyed the movie, job done. It doesn't matter if you watched it in Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
We had one more question. Shraddha Agarwal says, what is a day of a producer like?
Day in a producer's life. I mean,
it starts very early, first thing.
Yeah, it starts very early. You're the first one.
And it ends like the last. You are the last guy on the set, and you're the first guy on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a day in a producer's life is when the film is shot, done, and the post production is done. You're not done yet. You're the guy who your initiation of the process will keep everyone motivated. If you're not initiated it, no one will be.
Yeah.
And you, in every day, you have to bring that energy to the set, to the entire crew, because there'll be times like when your director or your actor isn't really, sure about any of the decisions and they're just not feeling it. So producer, apart from all the tangible problems which happen on the set, which is your financial or human whatever problems. The best of them all is there'll be 50 people or 100 people, human beings, working together on a project, and you have to be a leader on that. You have to make some calls. You have to make some tough decisions, which is gonna not please to everyone. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Basically, how
so
to say no, right?
yeah, try not to, but you have to. It'll
Yeah.
be hurtful, but it's truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah, just know when like you
Uh,
got to say yes or a no,
yeah,
and like you say like that producer is involved in the creative and the business aspect of the film, but business aspect जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं overpower कर जाता है वो
exactly. Like first thing I said was this
creative
is a
aspect.
producer-driven industry.
Yeah.
A producer hires a
Yeah,
director. It doesn't work the other way. Like you can go to a producer, approach him with a project, but let's face it, it starts as a producer-driven industry. A writer goes and meets a producer, and he's the one who gets thing up and running. He's the one who gets thing going.
Yeah.
Because everyone in their own department, the costume team, the makeup team, the direction team, the cinematography team, they'll be working extra hard, and they will be because it's their film. But you make sure that everyone's coordinating and communicating on a right level,
Yeah.
and messages are getting across. There's not the film politics, there's not the set politics, the crew politics, that people who don't like working together are forced to, and that's when they it compromise with the quality of the film. So how do you
and
deal with that as a producer?
Yeah.
So
like
that's one.
for
Yeah.
me, like a day in a producer's life is like I don't know, like I see it like that. That's my
Hmm.
personal opinion on it. That as a like when you're the producer of a film or a short film or a scene, anything, you're the producer, okay? You just can't say कि ठीक है यार देखी जाएगी. You can't
Yeah.
really do that. You can't say that. You just can't. मतलब
You can't sleep, honestly.
yeah.
You won't
I
be.
mean,
You won't. It'll
you
keep you up
won't
at night.
yeah, I mean just you need to be like finding ways out to like getting things done, selling your film or whatever it is, completing your film, getting it in the theaters, getting it on Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, Voot, whatever. Just doing things, making things happen. You can't say कि यार देख लेंगे यार इसको संभाल
Yeah.
लेंगे. You can't do that.
Yeah.
As
You
a
want.
producer, it's your responsibility. Like this is a very basic thing to say, but like if the director is the mother of the film, the producer is the father, you just can't let your child be like, हाँ ठीक है देख लेंगे जैसा भी होगा. You can't
Yeah.
do that.
You
You
won't.
need to,
It's
yeah,
like,
you just need to like take shit, digest it, and make things work, make things happen, and like make a good film. That's it.
well, things do get better if you plan them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That goes for everything, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have got a masala question here. What is the input of a producer in casting?
यार होता है, बहुत होता है ना. I mean,
क्या होता है?
okay. So, होता है यार. I mean, एग्जाम्पल दे सकता हूँ अभी के लिए, ठीक है.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, as a producer, you also need to keep in mind you're not making a film just to watch on your laptop, probably. Like the final edit of the film and just be like, wow, it's my.
Hmm. I made that film, yes.
Yeah.
मेरा जैसे लोगों का है वो बहुत मतलब you can't do that. You need to also keep one thing in mind that you're making the film. वो ऑडियंस को दिखानी है, ऑडियंस को दिखाने के लिए तुम्हें फिल्म कहीं पे लगानी पड़ेगी, भेजनी होगी, बेचनी होगी.
Hmm.
Yeah.
ठीक है? You need to keep that in mind, and for that, sometimes a known face, acts as a catalyst.
Yeah.
There are like shit ton, मतलब ऐसे भर भर के इतना सारा एग्जाम्पल है बॉलीवुड में ही, मतलब इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में ही, जिसमें लिटरली शाहरुख खान कम जस्ट फॉर अ सॉन्ग और उस सॉन्ग पे वो फिल्म पूरी बेच रहे हैं.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
We have guest appearance from this actor, and like just as Simba mein, Ajay Devgan came in the end as Singham.
Yeah.
उसमें कोई
And
जरूरत नहीं था, but it just made
yeah,
the universe, the
you know,
content was interesting.
Yeah.
it sells because, dude, let's face it, it sells. All these things sells. And I studied a case study of a film. This guy had a short film budget of 10 lakh rupees, and he wanted to get Irfan Khan on it. And Irfan Khan took a major chunk of his budget. So instead of compromising with the actor, he went ahead with Imran Khan, Irfan Khan. I don't know whichever Khan it was. But he got the actor, and he cut down cost on the remaining things. But he really wanted that known face. He really wanted that famous actor because he believed that actor can sell his film
Yeah.
or get some viewers to him. So producer का काम वही है कि he has to take care of it. If getting a known face will cost him a little more money, doesn't matter if he has that, because it will work in the favor of the artist and the producer both. It'll
Yeah.
act as a marketing tool for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, for like the recent shot that I did like a week ago, we just got done with the shoot and everything. So, like I was the EP in it, and I got Shishir Sharma. If you guys know him, he's quite a known face. So I got in touch with him. We were like, he comes on board. So basically, automatically the relatability of the audience with the film, it changes if they see a known face.
Yeah.
Not just for a role which says like hello, bye, not like that. Like a role which like is there.
Yeah, major screen time. He's getting good amount of screen time.
So it will like act as a catalyst and will help you guys to just go out with the project and say that we have this attached to it, and obviously it adds value.
Yeah.
Adds value to it.
We have a okay. First of all, let's take this. How do you deal with actors' tantrums?
We don't. We tell
Nice,
them to
nice
take
one.
care of it yourself. I think tantrum is a too harsh word, but as I said, if there's actors gonna be on set, there will be drama. Actors are, correct me if I'm wrong, but actors are born attention seekers.
Yeah.
Pardon my French there, and there'll be drama there because there'll be celebrity require. If you have a celebrity, then there's drama into 10,000 because there'll be celebrity requirements, there'll be hospitality requirements, and like something which I experienced in Dharma. I'm not gonna tell which project, but there were, trust me, there were big actors there, and they had big requirements with them all the time. So the crew, the crew has to take care of it, and being the part of the crew and the production crew, it
Yeah.
means you can't say no if it's a big shot actor. And if it's like a B grade or C grade, C level actor or D level actor, and you can talk it out and let's say You can discuss it out with the actor, and actor is, ready to understand the situation. Then it's okay. Tantrums done. But
Yeah.
if it's like, it's really necessary, you have to take care for the image of the production or the quality of the film or the company you're working for, or like, the guy you're working for, whatever the reason might be.
Yeah.
If it's that tantrum is necessary to be dealt with, you have to, because that's what actors do.
Yeah. We have a question related to OTT. Someone said the Bobby Deol show was the biggest hit. I don't know about that.
The Ashram.
Yeah.
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 So there's a question that is OTT like? Do you think censorship also plays an important role in the difference of perspective towards OTT?
Yeah, it does. I mean, like that's what I said. No, कि मतलब see when we were talking about कि feature film और YouTube, तो उसमें भी तो मतलब YouTube भी एक तरीके का वो मतलब OTT है ना. I mean, like you can just like
Yeah.
search like the freemium model,
Yeah.
right? अभी
Hmm.
अभी वो भी YouTube ने भी वो कर दिया कि premium भी है हमारे पास,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
But so it's just like that कि उसमें censorship तो है, and what I think that usually इसमें एक मेन चीज है that you can experiment in the OTT platform a lot with the film form. I mean, like
Hmm.
you can experiment in releases as well. People do. We have seen people doing that, and they'll be like pioneers in like doing that shit. But right now, when the times are changing,
Yeah.
this can be something really new, and we shouldn't like really ignore it right now. Like we can't ignore it. We can't just say कि यार ठीक है मतलब Netflix देखा है तुमने ये नहीं देखा तुम Netflix देख
Hmm.
लो, but it is something which is attracting things. I mean, like fucking Irishman got released, man, over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine a guy who's represented as, the epitome of independent theatrical filmmaking. Martin Scorsese made a film for OTT platform, so you can understand the power of it.
Yeah.
I
Also,
mean,
where
like
the
Netflix
generation,
was
where the
and it came on OTT. Like it was released in theaters, but in a very limited number of theaters, and it came on OTT, and it just like boomed over there. And like
hmm,
we can't ignore that possibility, and
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
we can see, yeah,
where the generation of people, where the generation of teenagers who are obsessed with screens,
Yeah.
we're the screenagers of this generation.
Nice
And
term.
OTT is indeed an empowering tool, because it the communal content or the family content can be narrowed to the individual content, like something which I personally like, and let's say my family doesn't want to watch, and let's say there's things which, if in a single screen, if you're going with your family, and let's say there's films which you don't really find interesting, you can watch them on OTT individually. That's the power of OTT background.
Yeah.
Better stories can be told, better ideas can be brought out, and
you can see like the variation.
the individuality of a filmmaker or an artist or a writer
Yeah.
can really lead to exceptional ideas, and which I
I
think.
mean, just like there's this thing like I mean I know like we also just at a very basic level right now we're trying to level up and like get
Hmm,
to मतलब अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं बड़ा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं but also like the thing with OTT right now like what I have noticed it is कि एक particular तुम्हें experimentation का एक freedom मिलता है just don't do for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Like do
hmm,
it if it's needed, do it if you feel it, like just don't do it for the sake of it. I mean, you can't put और ऐसे कोई भी माँ बहन की गालियां एक सेंटेंस में आई मीन इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी वो
Yeah.
इम्पैक्ट चला जाता है यार वो गाली का
Yeah.
अगर मैं गाली दे रहा हूँ उसका इम्पैक्ट आना चाहिए ना वो जस्ट डोंट डू फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट या
Yeah.
yeah. You can't force a joke in comedy. You
Yeah.
can't force people in your crew, and you can't force ideas on people which they don't want to watch.
Yeah.
So OTT actually narrows down a lot of shit which is being made. and OTT gives you, you know, the good selection of good content which you might like.
Yeah. There's also a question, the Hindi series coming out today on Netflix, Amazon, they are far superior than what we are getting in commercial films. I think that also goes
Yeah,
to that point, because maybe because also that because Netflix, Amazon, look at them personally, work on them, so the quality of the content is really high.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think for a TV, you know, TV in India only we have 180 million TV viewers.
yeah,
And for Netflix, I think we have just 4, 5 million. For Amazon, I think 11, 12 million. I don't know what the current stats are, but
yeah,
you know, men lie, women lie, stats don't.
yeah,
Stats always tell you, you know, there's a larger audience for television and, you know, audience from different age group, different financial group, family group. So, of course, the content on OTT is better and, you know, more diversified and better stories are told, but, you know, uh, it might not be, you know, it might not cater to a whole chunk of audience in the country.
yeah,
So, something which, because you, let's say someone like you, someone like all three of us who, you know, who encourage new ideas and new films. So
yeah,
this is something like Amazon or Netflix will help us, but let's our parents or our grandparents and like, you know, people around us, they, you know, they watch TV for fun. They don't really, you know, there's not particular shows they're stuck on. But for
yeah,
us, it's different. So like I said, the generation of ours is different from the generation we had before. So you can't just rule out the whole chunk of audience which existed before us and completely shut down TV.
yeah,
Because the content is made, it's because someone's watching it.
yeah.
Yeah.
How will producers benefit from pay-per-view and drive-in cinema?
Driven cinema and pay-per-view.
I,
Pay-per-view,
I think the
I can say.
Khali Pili did that, no, with Z Plugs that they have to pay 300
Uh,
crores for.
Did that, but
Kali Willy is Yash's recent most favorite film ever made. क्योंकि the only money Kali Pili has ever made is because Yash has watched it like 5,000 times so far, है ना?
no, bro, I was just shooting there. I wasn't in a drive-in watching car. Okay, I had work. I was getting shit done. Just being a producer in Gurgaon. So like Khali Pili did that, but like I think pay-per-view right now the way the things have been acting and reacting to everything around are like I think pay-per-view is something that we can look forward to. It's something that suppose like in a month you get to watch uh, two web series and one you get or let's say like two films and one series on Netflix.
Yeah,
$100 for it. So obviously, वो advertise आएगा. You will also see कि oh shit, I was just watching Breaking Bad. इसमें तो वो भी है, Narcos भी है, ये भी है. So you will probably like get a hang on of that, and you will you would like want to watch a lot of things. So you'll be like, okay, I'm just like paying 100 for like 6 months. Why not like just get a package of it? I'll get a
yeah,
better deal probably.
Hmm.
So we
I think
and
there was this content company US में और उन लोगों ने क्या किया था, they wanted to make a TV show. So
yeah.
instead of making the whole 10 episodes of season 1, what they did was they made 10 different pilots from the same money,
Okay,
from the pilot money they had, and they just put out 10 different pilots with the same characters but with different stories. And the
Mhm.
okay,
people which like the you know the favorite pilot, they had the whole poll which had the biggest rating, this pilot, they continued the story with that pilot episode.
Mhm.
So this is something you can never do in TV or film.
yeah,
You can't, you know, you can't get interactive with your audience. This is
yeah,
something which only OTT or, you know, digital content can offer you. People get, you know, people feel like they're the part of the content now. The people feel like, you know, you're just more than an audience. I think it's like how Greek theater mein they used to break the fourth wall, and movies mein actors break the fourth wall so that audience become a part of the movie itself.
Yeah.
So artistically and cinematically, creatively, financially, it's breaking barriers. It's bringing out new possibilities. Something like this could have never been, you can't make 10 different movies and put it in theaters because you don't have money and time, and then expect people, ask them to whichever they want to see a sequel to.
Yeah.
But on OTT, you can. People just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Before guys, after this we'll go into the COVID questions, everything related to the pandemic. I only had one thing. I was always confused about this. When we see what's the budget of a film, does that budget includes everything, every single penny spent on the movie, or just the production budget?
So there are like it depends like what budget you are looking at. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's a production budget which just has the only like it will calculate the stuff of like the film in the shooting period. That's it. From the day one, from your coconut till your like last day, probably. It
Yeah.
will have that like on set, how much you're spending, how much you're paying the guys, how much you're paying the lightmen, how much you're paying the like that,
Yeah.
and like when you like look a पूरा ऐसे film का budget, तो उसमें like there's a pre-production meetings are arranged, pre-production में recce होता है, उसका expenditure होता है, then you're like probably getting someone on board to just do the storyboard in the pre-production. It doesn't happen the production so like that, and in the post-production का भी budget वैसे ही होता है. You have VFX, you have animation, you have sound, you have music, sound design. That's a whole
Yeah.
session and game, like a ball game altogether. So you just need to be like you just need to know like what budget you're looking at.
Even if you're just out wrecking, looking for locations, you will have to hire a line producer, and you will have to, get the transportation for the above the line crew.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, like,
वो सारे आपका pre-production expenses में आएगा. But usually when you Google a budget of the film, they usually show the cost of production. They don't show the marketing cost and distribution cost,
Yeah.
which they put later. Usually they show the cost of production.
What about the actor's salary?
that's also
I think it's included in cost of production, yeah.
no, not in cost of production, but like in the whole film's budget also. Like you are that much money. Like suppose I'm the producer, Nona Prince, my suppose an angel investor who we suppose 10 crores to make a film. तो वो जो budget है उसमें से ही I will have to like do everything.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay.
just go again and just be like, or like or
Yeah.
if I'm seeing that project 10 crore में नहीं होगा, then he might be one of the investors that I'm getting on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say the actor you're hiring will be the second producer, and he doesn't take the actor fee because he'll be the producer, and yeah, and
Yeah.
you can have a business relation there.
Yeah. So there's a question that I think I will end the stream with that question. But now, so there's a question. What are your suggestions to reduce production cost after the pandemic in Malayalam industry? Producers insist the actors to cut their salary to half. Will it happen in Bollywood?
Hollywood or here?
No,
Bollywood.
in Bollywood. Like in Malayalam, they have asked
Uh.
actors to cut their salary in half. He's asking, will it happen in Bollywood, and what are the other measures you can take to decrease the cost?
It can. I mean, it can happen like that. And like your crew size and the people you're working with. See, I think if you want to like right now, और ऐसे भी generally in filmmaking people say कि if you want to make a good film तो फिर उसका prep भी वैसा strong होना चाहिए तुम्हारा.
Yeah.
You just can't be like I have a screenplay, let's shoot. No. So the thing is कि you will reduce on your like the production crew, like it will be, suppose like 30-40% तो cut होगा ही होगा.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have, suppose you want 100 extras, you can't have 100 extras for 4 days. You will
Yeah.
have 50 extras for 2 days, and the rest will be like probably dependent on the VFX, the extension of it, and the multiplication, the crowd multiplication,
Mm.
all of that. तो वो सब मतलब चीजें बहुत सारी तुम्हारी कम होंगी.
Yeah.
तुम्हारे other expenses भी बहुत बड़े as a production house or as
COVID के COVID के बाद there'll be
and as
obviously
a
less.
lead, like as a
Uh,
producer, like you will have to pay for your like it goes from the budget. तुम्हारा crew का COVID test, like you need to get everyone tested if they're traveling from somewhere. If even if they are not before the shoot, you need to get their RT-PCR or some test done, like COVID test done,
Yeah.
and उस तरीके से वो बढ़ता है. And you just need to, you know, sometimes like ऐसे होगा that वो actors भी नहीं कम हो रहा है, then the budget will go up obviously, and it might turn up कि in like complete profit the film has done really well, or else ऐसा हो सकता है that it just appears that the film has done well, but it didn't really like make money because film का cost ही उतना बढ़ता गया.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I'm getting suppose an an actor on board and I told him ki please like don't charge 100 from me.
Yeah.
The federation is saying ki charge suppose 70, and he's like no, ठीक है, I'll come to somewhere around like 70 or 50. I'll take something like 90, 95. I'm like okay, but still like it doesn't help me a lot because मेरा तो बाकी का जो basic cost है as a production guy I'm speaking वो तो बढ़ रहा है ना.
Yeah.
Like the sanitizer, the hand washes, the food will be expensive because right now buffets you just have the packed food.
Yeah.
So it costs money.
mm,
So do you think with this
Yeah.
this thing that actors, if like if there's two actors, right, one is bigger than the other, but the first one is not negotiating the price, but the second one is willing to do that, so producers will go for the second person because at this moment you having the best actor will not guarantee you money, and just having a good actor will work for
It
you.
depends. It completely depends on my research, on my approach. Again, you know, it completely depends on my research
Okay.
of like my film. Like
mm,
I want Robert Pattinson to be in the film and he will add some value and he's asking for 100, and I will give him.
Yeah.
Even if he adds some value to it, you know, like if I am like seeing it, I'm like the हाँ मतलब recover हो सकता है, and like it can be a landmark and it can be like something, you know, in that particular way. Like I have that vision. If I see it like that, my research and the numbers show that, then I will go ahead with it. But if it doesn't happen, it won't happen because I will make a suppose 10,000 ka film hai, just for the sake of it I make it. Then it will be the same thing. Just for the sake of it I made it, but I didn't make any money out of it
Yeah.
because the film ka cost was so much. The film को बनाने में इतना पैसा लग गया मेरा कि रिकवर उसने मतलब जितना भी करा उसकी वो मतलब फिल्म उतना ही कर सकती थी आइडियली, बट
Yeah.
वो बनी बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है. You get it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a question. What is best for cinema opening theater with 50% occupancy or waiting until the pandemic is over? Now, no one knows when the pandemic is over,
Yeah.
but yeah, what do you think about this 50% thing? Is it good enough?
I think it'll just cost producers more money because they will still run the shows, but
Yeah.
obviously there'll be 50% lesser occupancy, and
Hmm.
exhibitors will have to, exhibitors will take a major chunk of profit in that because let's happen when your film gets released on a Friday, and on the first weekend, the second, fourth, after the fifth weekend, if the film is doing mediocre, they still run the entire show, even if theater has like three people in it.
Yeah.
So the exhibitors will take the majority share of profit in that case, and producer obviously gets less because they have to run his film. 50% occupancy in a theater is still good than like the 0% which we had for past 6 7 months.
Yeah.
So I think they will try to recover the production money.
But
Uh,
even 50% is allowed, but who knows 50% will show up, right?
Yeah.
Not yeah, yeah, yeah. Not necessarily people will show up.
Yeah.
Turn up, watch a film
And I think
in a
it's
global pandemic like this, and the failing economic times we have in our country right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's aware of the situation the country is dealing with.
Yeah.
Film, entertainment, tourism, lifestyle industries aren't very survival or basic industries of life. These are ancillary industries. So I think you obviously there'll be less footfall in a theater. People prefer to stay at home and be secured.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I
you
I
know,
don't know. See, I think that this 50% occupancy thing, I don't know. Like it can be it can be an experiment. I don't know, but like how the
hmm,
theater work, just
But
like that.
who will take that risk, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but who would take that risk? I mean, seriously. But people are scared. It is deadly. You know,
yeah.
people
hmm,
who survive just like ask them. They'll be like they were fucked during the process, like of just recovering.
Yeah.
And but I also think like I'm going slightly here and there in this question because I think that from like here onwards in India and all around the world, we can see that there are various verticals. Like there is a TV film, there's an OTT film, there's a theatrical, yeah, there's like games and all, an interactive like Black Mirror thing.
Yeah.
You know, be a boom in the industry in the Indian scene, filmmaking scene in terms of the verticals. I think there will be, and like people should. You can't just keep your eyes closed and be like, यार थिएटर में ही सब कुछ है ऐसे तो होगा ही नहीं वैसा नहीं हो सकता. You can't just like stay in denial.
Yeah.
Okay, you keep on making films. Your film will they'll just have to wait. I mean, just look at India's population. और अभी तक कितने लोग infected हैं?
Yeah.
Look at our state right now. I mean, like it's just like seriously, it is a chaos.
Yeah.
And there will be a rise in like different verticals and films. I think they will use a funnel. Like the film का windowing time जो है वो मुझे लगता है कि काफी अच्छे से divide होगा पहले because there was this like किसी को भी business करने का पूरा वो run मिल नहीं पाता था किसी film को.
Yeah.
You get it? So right now, like, after this thing can happen, and I think, and I wish that this happens.
Yeah.
Here you go. Because eventual
hmm,
films, like films like Avengers and all, they will get the theaters, and films like probably say Uncut Gems. You don't need a theater to watch Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems, you can watch on a nice LED panel at your home, like on a nice LED TV on Netflix. You can watch that on Netflix. You can watch Gulabo Sitabo on Netflix. You can
Yeah.
there's no harm in watching those films in theater as well, but theater promises something like that.
the larger than life element
Yeah,
of
that,
yeah.
like that event. Like I will be up for like if Tenet releases now, I'll be in that
Yeah.
50% occupancy audience and go and watch it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
और उसको उसका time भी मिलेगा. There won't be like a film
Competition.
like a film like suppose Good Time or probably the Uncut Gems waiting कि भाई नेक्स्ट इसका तो टेनेट का एक हफ्ते का ही टाइम है नेक्स्ट वीक हम आ रहे हैं एंड देन फिर बिजनेस डिवाइड हो जाता है एंड देन उसको पूरा रन नहीं मिल पा रहा है एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट
Yeah.
बट आल्सो वी नीड टू कीप इट इन माइंड दैट इट्स 50% occupancy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like what are we talking about is like there will be I think that there will be a rise in the OTT and TV, मतलब इसमें verticals में, and if the film is like Uri or something like that, people will go to the theater when the situation is a bit calmer.
Yeah,
They will go to theater to watch only those like things. You don't want to watch a conversation on a big screen. Like it, there's like I think that there's no point to watch just a conversation on a bigger screen.
yeah. It should be worth it, the risk and the.
Yeah, like it should be like, not like yeah, in this matter right now. Yeah, obviously risk as well, but like you need that experience when you watch an Avenger on a bigger screen and on a TV. You मतलब वो अलग experience
Yeah,
है.
yeah,
System उड़ रहा है and all of that bigger screen वो पूरा sound system it like वो justice होता है वो उस type के film के साथ.
yeah,
If you like it, you enjoy it, and that's what it's meant for. But
yeah,
right now the situation is quite dicey and अलग word
Hmm.
rise होगा and the pay-per-view thing that we talked about, it is something that it should like come in play right now.
yeah,
धीरे 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 it should come in play, and somehow or the other it will seep in to like the smaller pockets of India as well. And people know, I mean, like people watch it on YouTube and on like the smaller, like in the smaller pockets of India, they watch it and they know it also. They're like, yeah, this is better than that. Like, why should I watch that? I can watch a TVF video on it. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
it's better than watching a TV serial in India.
yeah.
You get the entertainment, you get the better quality and all, better
Definitely.
acting, better storytelling. Yeah, so why
Yeah.
not?
So guys, we'll wrap up soon. Just we'll take the last few questions.
Yeah,
And if you have anything else you couldn't ask in the chat, their Instagram IDs in the description. Go check them out. You can DM them and they'll answer you. So the next question is, how does distribution takes place in India? Please, can you tell me if I made a low budget movie using my money, how can I get it distributed and how many people will I have to engage in my profit circle?
Okay, so for an independent film, there are sales agents which you can, find them in a film festival, or you can find them online, go approach them. There
Yeah,
are a lot of sites where you can, get in touch with distributors and sales agents. So what sales agents do is, so these are good salesmen of films. They take the films and they go to different festivals and they go and meet in different distributors for your product. A film like yours might not get a good audience or good market here, but it probably in France or Germany or some other Eastern European country, or let's say some Latin American country where there isn't a good film production, but there's good market of people who will watch films. So the sales agent acts as a very good medium to get your film across. Secondly, you don't want a sales agent, and if you don't want to share your profit, or let's say you can't afford one. So, like I mentioned, film websites, like there's a website called filmfreeway.com. So it lists a lot of film festivals in which you can be early bird, register early bird, and just pay the nominal fee, जो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होती है, and start your film there, send it to film festivals. You can get good reception from there. The people then come to you. You don't go to people then. If your film is doing good in a film festival, like it goes to next round or final round, and some festivals also have cash prizes as reward, or ceremonies and networking sessions. And if you go and attend them, will meet more people.
yeah,
A lot of indie films, I think, on Body and Soul, I think got picked up by Sony because the filmmaker went and took it to a film festival. And he met Sony executives there.
no, wasn't that so? Basically, so what happened? Like there was this Hungarian film in 2017 called On Body and Soul. So it was funded by their government body, Hungarian Film Funds, and it went to the European film market. which happens at the Berlin Film Festival. It
Berlin.
went, yeah. So it went there, and from there, there's this sales agent, like huge sales agent in Europe. They are called Film Boutique. They picked it up from there, and after that, it got an Oscar nomination. It was released in 80 different territories on Netflix as well, and also on like various other, like it was sent to various other film festivals. I mean, like I saw it in Mummy, and it won some award at Mummy as well. And so, like when you make a film, like in India, the scene for film, like the independent scene is like there's this thing that happens in Goa, IFFI,
Film.
around
Yes.
October last week, October first week. It happens somewhat at that time, and there's a film bazaar, which is a film market attached to it, where you can meet these people. So there are like open, like keynotes and presentations and showing your film's trailer, asking for like, I'm looking for the festival that I'm looking for.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanesh.
So guys, I'll just so there's IFFI, there's film markets, and what was the website you said, Tanish?
If you
just filmfreeway.com. But if you just,
Filmfreeway.com.
if you just Google like, Film Freeway is the first website which appears.
like
If you
film,
just
film just like for festivals and all, but like for film markets, like I was talking about like film markets,
Yeah.
NFDC Film Bazaar that happens in Goa, and over there are like open. You can just go on the stage and show your film's trailer. Like this is the quality that we are offering, and the film's ready. The post is done. Looking for like we're looking for the distributors and buyers, and like there are people from Germany, France, and all, and they can make it happen. And
Yeah.
but it will be like a co-production thing. Then, okay.
Yeah.
So वहाँ पे लोग अलग-अलग stages में अपनी film लेके आते हैं बहुत कि बस like they're just like we have just finished the screenplay and there are some like visual references. This is the story. Like let's connect.
Yeah.
So yeah, like stuff like
not
that.
just films, like documentaries, TV shows, docudramas, and actors appear with their actor showreel, their monologue showreel, so that they can get in touch with more crew or people. I think
Yeah.
that's the whole point of a film bazaar or film networking community. And Mami में भी ऐसा होता है, film bazaar में होता है. There's film festivals in
Mami,
Bangalore.
but like Mami is mostly like it's just the film festival. There's no film market attached to it. I'm sorry for that. There's no like film market attached to it. So like what he's saying कि like indie film अगर है तो उसको like how you can go about it. But in India the biggest this thing is
The
like the
biggest film bazaar.
yeah, the film bazaar. It's really good. Like
Yeah.
you meet the producers and like people like that who you want to meet with, and you might like connect with them and just be like, and they'll be like, wow, like sahi hai.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but it's like you just have to pitch your film, and a lot goes. Obviously, it's just not as simple as ki हाँ sahi hai, but a lot goes in that. But like there's like that's a place where you can like find buyers for your film and distributors and probably producers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hopefully, being
various parts
crazy, that answered your both the questions. And if you have more questions, you can reach them out. Their Insta handle is in the description. And I think just last two questions. First, I have to ask your thoughts on this boycott Bollywood movement and all the drama happening and how I recently made a video that actors are just 1 or 2% of the people working on a film. There are 99% of the people who are working on the film, the crewmates, everyone. So saying Bollywood, the whole industry doesn't make sense. So I would like to know your thoughts on that.
I think how the whole media trial happened
Yeah.
with the actors and the whole situation happening on TV. It does reveal, what all happenings in the Bollywood. Uh, as you said, like 1%, actors are only 1%, and the entire crew might be, engaged in these activities. Uh, it's bad. It's obviously bad to glorify this lifestyle, to promote it all, because the young viewers, it affects to their, mentality. It affects to young audience, juvenile audience,
Yeah.
glorifying these violence and because for us, for writers, for creators, it's catharsis. It's good drama. It's good entertainment, but you need to know the fine line between good entertainment and learning from it.
Yeah.
All this celebrity lifestyle, rock star lifestyle might appeal, might inspire, but it's not worth it in the end. It's not it's not worth having it because you know if that's the life you want to live, that's your call, but that's not appealing to anyone but you.
Yeah.
Uh, on a bigger context, if you want to talk about any specific thing, like the whole drug scandal happening in Bollywood, uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. People do what they do. You can't stop them. If it's legal, illegal, doesn't matter to a good section of community.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's not a necessary thing. If you're an artist or if you're a creative individual and you want to do something, if you want to create something, you need to take, performance enhancers and external drugs and psychotropic substances. It's illegal and it's demeaning. Uh, Art and commerce go hand in hand. You can't just live in denial. You can't just be a delusional artist, and you can't just be a, money hungry businessman.
Yeah.
If you want to be a filmmaker, there's a very blurry line, and great filmmakers have done it successfully. So there's no reason that you can't do it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mute. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mute. Yeah.
yeah,
My
yeah.
one more point I
Hmm.
have on that, that I talked about in my video also, that the next generation, who want to be a director, want to be a producer, want to be editor, want to come into the industry, not just being an actor, but other professions.
Hmm.
The image this is
Hmm.
creating over them, their parents, will they, like for me,
Mm,
my parents accepted I could go to Mumbai and study, but will they get that
mm.
opportunity because of this happening?
I think it will. Yash, do you want to add in this?
No, you say first. I'll say.
Okay, yeah. See, for Indian parents, yes. Like, जो देसी parents होंगे, of course, they'll watch this on news and they'll see what all's happening in the industry and they'll try to, save their kid.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
thing you need more than freedom is security.
Yeah.
And you don't want to compromise on your health just because, you want to get into show business and you want to be famous and rich. And it will affect the next generation of people who want to get into the industry. But if they want to get in for the right reasons, for the sake of art, for the sake of culture, all this happening on TV won't really stop them and won't stop their parents to do it. Because if you're in it for the right reasons, you're in it for real. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, see, like, there ऐसे elements हैं, and um, like Ganesh has worked now, and like he has about an एक साल का experience. I have a year's experience. You have an like एक साल का experience. But the thing is, like, um, I don't know, यार. I mean, करेंगे थोड़ा मतलब एक वो जो image बन गई है. I mean, like, but you need to understand कि everybody is not like that, no. And
Yeah.
Hmm.
also, like, if you're saying, if you're putting so much effort on this, then please like put that much effort on the bubble that, you know,
Of the
probably,
society, I think.
yeah, not the bubble of the society, and also like the bubble of the bad films they make, and they say that's the like it's a good film. I mean, it's the best film. हमने ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया, वो पता चल रहा है तुमने 10 जगह से उठा के रखा हुआ है यार. I
Hmm.
mean, you get it.
Like,
Like it happens
you're not.
everywhere, right? It's happen everywhere. It's not just for
It,
Bollywood. Just everyone does
no,
that.
it
No,
happens.
like, जैसे अमेरिका में, Star Wars got made, and now the
Yeah,
new generation of fans are making the new Star Wars film.
yeah,
See, that's legacy right there. A filmmaker like George Lucas inspired the next generation of filmmakers. यहाँ पे, like, there's nothing inspiring. ठीक है, you can watch them, like them, get entertained, but your decision to join film industry will not be encouraged by everyone,
yeah,
because it's entertainment, but a lot of people don't find it that way. A lot of people find it insulting, humiliating, sexist, misogynist. People find all sorts of things in what they watch.
yeah,
So if they really want to have a strong
I
legacy, they need
uh,
to inspire the generations after us, and the generations we are.
and like we need to get this straight. The drug problem is there, and if it's like, and if it is handled nicely, it'll go away or probably decrease. I don't know, but the thing is, we need to get it straight that it's about like, overall, it's about like filmmaking. You just can't be like, you
Hmm.
know, अरे just like do it. अरे ठीक है, वो हमारा मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, but उसमें भी हमारी marketing तो हो रही है ना. You can't be like that. I mean, like
yeah,
you
Nah.
just need, yeah, just elevate your game, man. Like seriously, just look around what all is happening all around the world. I mean, for me, like people were like, in Indian इसमें ये निकला है, ये फिल्म आई है, वो फिल्म आई है, ये देख वो देख. I'm like, that's good, but like from 2019, अगर India से something that like really impressed me was the film Asuran. If you guys have seen it,
yeah,
just level up and just look at that film. I mean, it's so hard hitting, and I don't mean कि तुम बस मतलब अगर like if you want to make good films, then just make hard hitting. No,
yeah,
don't like just don't. But like variation to love. You can't just be like कि फिल्में मैं फिल्मों की फिल्में बनाता रहूं. You can't just be like that. कि अभी ये चल रहा है, अभी बाहुबली जैसा चल रहा है, so I'll just make like that. अभी ये चल रहा है, so I'll just make like that. अभी ये चल रहा है, so I'll just make like that. No, just like bring in your own game, bring in your own variations. I guess that's where like we just fall back,
yeah.
you know.
You know that
So
that yeah,
it's just like कि you're just looking at a big light और तुम जाके उससे चिपक जा रहे हो, जो तुम्हें नहीं करना है.
yeah. You know,
Exactly. Just looking at some bright object and you're just like going and you just stick to it, and you don't have anything to like move around because you're all sticky and you're just stuck to that. You can't see anywhere.
yeah.
There's like be free in your mind, like just variation and just like, yeah, that's it.
You
And
know,
like this drug problem, it should just like go away, and people should like start making films, like good films in better way, and नए लोगों को और भी chance मिलना चाहिए. I
yeah,
think because there is a bunch of uh, like the people who I work with, like we all are trying. We hit that, like the big thing, okay,
yeah,
and just and like people who are already that resourceful, that powerful, they just need to probably like look down on us and just see what the crazy shit like is happening, like whatever the stuff that we are making. They just need to like just have an eye for that.
yeah.
Just probably just look down and start picking up, start getting in like new this thing.
Yeah.
I remember in my college days, like some discussion was going on like celebrities and all, and someone just said, "We have this, we have that, we have this guy, we have that girl," or yes, yes, करके. And this is like back in 2017, and then the professor is like, "Yeah, but like America has about like 115 of those. What are you gonna do about it? You just have 5.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Say that you are the
The
greatest."
whole, like, the whole celebrity culture, how people really worship celebrities here. It's good to have, role models to look up to.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to bring a change, like he said, it's not to worship people, but to worship ideas.
Yeah.
And, America having multiple celebrities means multiple perspective of ideas, multiple opinions. In India, having less amount of actors and celebrities means there's a limited traditional thinking we have, and obviously you don't want to expand it.
Yeah, I mean, like, see,
Yeah.
like you just can't say, "Ki,
Hmm.
bro, I love sci-fi and all of that." Say it, and जभी तुम्हें कोई like if someone
Yeah.
pitches you that like एक idea, like if someone's pitching you, you just be like, "Ki, yaar, what are you thinking?" Just like don't. I mean, if someone does that, then and you yourself you're like, "Ki, I am the sci-fi guy," then like you should like really, and you are resourceful, you should really like, and you like that idea, you like that script, if you see a market for it, even if not
Hmm.
now, probably 2.5 years later, if you see a market for it, you need to like, you should go for it, or else that will just be like, मुझे Batman पसंद है, but like I don't have guts to make like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
thing. I mean, whatever it is, even if it's a short, just like make it. तुम देखो कि उस budget में what is the best thing that you can make,
Yeah.
you know.
And my whole channel is about that, exploring other industries in India, and like
Mhm.
nothing in Bollywood or Hindi cinema, like there are few gems, there are few people who are making great cinema in Hindi, but nothing, you cannot compare things what, Malayalam industry is doing,
Mhm.
what Tamil industry is
Yeah,
doing, even Kannada
yeah.
industry, how small they are. And, even I have reviewed films which I may not like, I didn't like the
Mhm.
execution, but the
Mhm.
approach, the
Hmm.
freshness in, the ambition is
Yeah.
bigger than anything I've seen in Hindi, because there's no attempt to make something big or something
I
different.
mean, you can't just like be like, just you just can't sit in a chair and just take a decision that, if we approach in a different way, probably that won't work. You just can't say that. I mean, like for me, whatever films that I've seen in India, असुरन में जिस तरीके से वो दिखाया है कि उसके बेटे की डेथ हो जाती है,
Yeah.
यू नो, और
Spoiler
उसके
alert.
उसका जो वो उसका जो, या सॉरी, ठीक है,
Yeah,
जो भी है, बट
I'm sure most people have seen
उसकी
it.
उसकी या उसकी उसकी डेथ हो जाती है, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट, उसका जो आफ्टर इफेक्ट है उसकी फैमिली पे, जिस तरीके से वो डेथ का दिखाया है, इज प्रिटी रॉ, एंड आई थिंक वो वैसे ही होना चाहिए था.
Yeah.
Like you're just hoping, and the sound, of like Roneka, the way it just rises and all of that.
Yeah.
So like these are like little things we need to like, I guess, work on, and like we are working on, like people are working on that. We just need who are working on like things like these and making the original stuff, and just making things better, and just like, you know the resourceful people, if we approach them, they just need to like give us a chance probably, and we can like make it happen, and we can just like also, like earlier in this like conversation I said, ki if you come and you just be like, I want to direct it, and I can't let you just like handle that much, like utna bade scale pe I can't let you handle, like if you're a first time director, but I can like get a nice team and get the film made the way it deserves to be made, right?
Yeah.
That will be justice to it. And in the entertainment industry, like it's growing. मतलब ऐसे देखा जाए तो overall कहाँ कहाँ से क्या क्या चीजें आ रही हैं. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at Mercedes का जो नया वो concept car है Avatar.
Yeah.
Just look at it. It is in a way a part of a new particular vertical in the industry. I mean, car industry जो भी है automobile industry, it's just making it automobile slash entertainment industry, and like it's a car which breathes on your heartbeat. I mean, like you can just like vibrate the whole car the way your like heart pump, like on that beat. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You just gotta keep your eye open and just keep looking, and
Yeah.
things are possible, and you can just make it happen. That's it, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, we are coming to the end of the stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. And just
Yeah.
one question a person had, not a question, he just wanted to ask, what is your proudest moment in your career still now? You have a long career ahead, I know, but till now, what is the best moment in your career? The highlight.
Hmm.
Of course, you came to
Mm.
my channel. I understand that. Let's not count it.
That was like, yo, celebrity shit. Harry
I'm
Junior.
gonna tomorrow morning I'll wake up as a city. I'll throw tantrums all over. Yeah. I think the proudest moment I've had in my career so far is, I actually, okay, so I left Dharma Production to take a risk and join as an assistant director in a much smaller production house.
Okay.
And the reason I did that is because the career which I wanted to head in as an assistant director, I couldn't see that happening in the former production house, but the later one offered it.
Yeah.
Even though the pay was less, even though like what all reasons you have, but the proudest moment is I actually worked on something which satisfied me creatively, which is something my own original decision. Production was a great offer, great job, great experience, but risking it all and jumping to something new eh, and having guts to do it, I think that's the proudest thing I've done in the industry.
Okay. Nice, man. Yes.
Me, it was my first independent short film project, an executive producer, and I, like finished it, and all the payments and everything was done. That was like the proudest moment. It was last year in December, so we had to
Mm.
like, and like, it was in a different city altogether. Like Bombay has been my base for like past 4 years, and I had to go to Delhi, source out the equipments, negotiate. It's a short film, very very low budget, complete skeleton crew, and kaise jaake like you just had to make it happen. The generator and all of that. I mean, like literally, we were shooting tied to a tied to a tractor, which was like the guy was charging us $500 a day. That's it, and it was like completely like I say movable like stuff. कि हम खेत में कभी shoot कर रहे हैं तो we used to go there और वहाँ पे tractor भी है साथ में, and it was all makeshift, but when you look at the film, it doesn't look like makeshift.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like he like बस किसी तरीके से कर रहे हैं. Like there was effort into it. People were
Mm.
cooperating, and I was the only one. I was the executive producer. So were the producers. So I was the only one in the production team. So I was just like handling all on my own. So after that was ended, I was like, I can do anything. I guess probably it was nice.
Yeah, nice, man, nice. So, guys, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you, Tanis. Thank you, Yash, for joining and enlightening us with your knowledge and expertise. And thank you, guys, for joining. I hope this was fun. If you enjoyed, if you found value, hit the like button, share it, and let people know how it was. Thank you, Srihari, in the chat. Thank you for helping me out. And thank you, guys. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, the stream is over.